Welcome back, everyone. It's episode 18 of the What's He On About Cricket podcast, and a sad, sad day for England. But before we get into any of that, we're going to take a deep, sad dive and analyse England cricket. We're going to have a look at where it went wrong in the middle of the episode. We're going to start, though, with the team of the week, the team of that round two. We're going to do the round two roundup. And we're going to do some mini reviews, sorry, of those games. And then we're going to predict at the end. We're going to have a little round three, round down, have a look forward, see what's coming up. So grab yourself a drink, a snack, make yourself comfy, and ask yourself, what is he on about? So the team of round two starts for Afghanistan. What a knock it was today, yesterday, wherever you're listening, whenever you're listening. Ibrahim Zadran. He broke Ben Duckett's record that stood for 4 days of the highest Champions Trophy score of all time, and he did it against Ben Duckett. Zadran got 177 off 146 balls, and he was out as well, so he didn't even face all the deliveries he could have done. 12 fours, 6 sixes, and it's the greatest knock by an Afghanistani batsman of all time, hands down. And he really took it to the English lads. I mean, Afghanistan had a tough start in the game. They were 3 down early, thanks to Jofra, but Ibrahim just held his ground and just didn't let the English lads fade him. And he just batted beautifully. It's the perfect modern day 50 over knock. Slow at the start, gradually increasing pace, and then ending the innings with an excellent strike rate because he went berserk at the end of the day. What a knock for Ibrahim, and well deserves that number one spot in the team of round two. The other opening spot goes to Rachin Ravindra. I know he batted at four for New Zealand, but he's also an opener. So he's slotting in here in this team of round two. And what a return it was for him. Will Young did it as well. Will Young came in. He returned to the side at the start of the tournament in that first game. He knocked 100. Rachin Ravindra, after getting hit in the face with a cricket ball, he returned a few days ago and he knocked 112. He's showing the world his class. And what was great for me in that knock was just the moment. Bangladesh were asking questions. There was potential that Bangladesh could have potentially made a couple more breakthroughs at that point when Rachin Ravindra came in, but New Zealand really hammered it home. We're going to talk about how England have just never hammered it home the whole series, the whole trophy. But Rachin Ravindra had a scary moment for New Zealand. He just told Bangladesh, step aside. Rachin Ravindra's coming through. And that's what he did. He rolled them, he pumped them, he put them everywhere. Simple as that. Well done, Rachin. Number two. Number three, Virat Kohli, return of the king, 100 not out, the mic drop of an innings. Two to win he needed off the last ball, and he was on 96, and he hits a four through the covers. The Indians go crazy on that, which is becoming a home conditions pitch of Dubai as they play their week in, week out. But Virat Kohli, it's getting to a point now. I released a TikTok on it earlier in the week. Make sure to check it out if you haven't. But the Indian players are starting to just really support Kohli in getting these hundreds. More than anyone else in world cricket, all the Indian batters are just sitting there blocking balls out to make sure that Kohli's got enough runs in the bank to go and have 100. It's all they really care about. They're mocking teams. They're mocking Pakistan, which for that rivalry must have been impossible to take as a Pakistani. But, the Indian batters are trying to get Kohli to his 100 every single time he even gets close. But no disrespect to Kohli. Great innings at a great tricky time in a big rivalry. Truly is his return. Could he keep going? I'm not really sure how much he could keep going on for, but if he's hitting knocks like that, who's to say he can't go on for a few more years? Number five, honourable mention, a couple of decent knocks from the Pakistani middle order. Saud Shakil and Rizwan put a couple of good knocks in. Tom Latham had a good knock as well, but for me, Shreyas Iyer supporting Virat Kohli, he got 56, and it was just his supporting role, I think, that really highlighted it for me this round two, and the way he just tore apart bowlers and just let Kohli do about his business, and Shreyas Iyer played the ultimate supporting role this week. Number six, this is probably the second key reason why England lost to Afghanistan today was Omazai Asmatullah, or Asmat. We'll call him Asmat today. He played that role that England have been so desperate to fill. With the bat, he got 41 off 31, a good little handy knock, was part of a good partnership with Ibrahim in the middle. But then he provided a bit of variation with the ball. He was a medium pace, a little bit slower, and it's what England have been calling out for, a bit of variation in the bowling attack. And Asmatullah showed that if you don't bowl at 90 miles an hour, you can get a fifer, and that's what he did. 5 for 58 off 9.5 overs. Quality bowling for Afghanistan, and he took the game away from England at key moments, and it showed that maybe that pitch was actually more suited to a slightly slower bowler, which, thanks to England's lack of variability or variance, we didn't have. So that's a highlight we're going to dive deeper into future later in the episode. Sorry. Number seven, Hardik Pandya. I thought he did his absolute best to try and stop Virat Kohli getting his 100, but he did only get out for eight. But I did admire his willingness to prevent the king from getting his 100 and ruin every single Indian fan's day. I thought that would have been brilliant. But in all seriousness, 8 overs, 2 for 31. I thought he held up as a fast bowler really well in Dubai conditions. Bowling behind Mohammad Shami and Harshit Rana, actually Hardik Pandya making a good impact there with the ball on not necessarily his perfect conditions. Number eight, Bracewell. He, for New Zealand, bowled probably the most mediocre 10 overs, 4 for 25 you'll ever see. Just classic off spinning, hitting it on the spot, consistent. Some days you go 0 for 70, 0 for 80. But today he went 4 for 25 just because it was that kind of day and Bangladesh didn't quite know how to play him and just gave him wickets. So that's Bracewell's innings for you. New Zealand, he carried their bowling lineup with 4 for 25 off 10. Well played, Bracewell. Number nine, Jofra Archer, the only other England man getting into this side alongside Joe Root. His 3 wicket opening spell was terrifying. It was proper pace bowling. The problem is when he came back to the attack, the Afghanistani batsman had faced nothing but right arm fast the whole innings. So Jofra got it to work in the opening spell, but when he came back on, actually, Afghanistanis didn't really see much different. But well done, Jofra. It was a great opening spell, and he so almost got England over the line at the end with the batting with Jamie Overton. But unfortunately, it just wasn't England's day. Well bowled, Jofra at the start. Number 10, a Pakistani. Pick of the bowlers for me, Abrar Ahmed. Excellent spinning option for Pakistan. He bowled 10 overs, 1 for 28, and it just felt quite unfortunate as Pakistan crashed out of their home Champions Trophy 2 games in, and Abrar Ahmed was that shining light that actually showed Pakistan to be a decent lineup. Abrar Ahmed in tough conditions, he bowled seriously well. And then number 11, it's his return. I think it's his full really return now into international cricket. He's been silent for a couple of years, but it's Kuldeep Yadav, the left arm leggy. He's back to his best, 3 for 40 off his bowling spell, and he just swiftly cleaned through Pakistan's lower order, and it's all you really ask of that kind of bowler. Kuldeep Yadav, number 11, 3 for, simple as that. There's your team of round two. Now, what went wrong for England? Afghanistan, it wasn't domination. It was a really tight game. All credit to Afghanistan. They played so well. Great performances from Ibrahim and Omazai, as we said. But it's time to dive in to what went wrong for England. And what we're gonna start with is bowling selection. Now, we've already mentioned it in the show, lack of variance, lack of variability. We have 5 right arm fast bowlers in the squad. Not right arm medium fast, not right arm medium, right arm fast. Jofra, Wood, Overton, Cars, who's now injured, and Atkinson. There are 5 bowling options. And even if you say, oh, we could play Mahmood as well, Yeah, there's a six, right arm fast. Okay, there's no variance in this attack, and you can't. There's no pitch in world cricket where that bowling attack suits. Maybe a green top in Australia, which is zipping through. Maybe, but every single wicket all over the world, especially in the subcontinent, needs a variety of bowlers, whether it's left arm, whether it's medium pace. Azmatullah showed for Afghanistan in Pakistan that a medium pacer works well in those conditions. Not necessarily every time, but that's the point of picking a bowling lineup. Is you have to account for various options. No cricket pitch is going to be the same. Therefore, not always are five right arm fast bowlers actually going to do the job. And here's the problem. It's not necessarily about taking wickets, which everyone thinks it is. You know, some people say, oh, play a left arm and they'll take loads of wickets. And the fact is, no, they don't always take loads of wickets. But what they do is it doesn't allow the batters to settle. Okay. Ibrahim and English are great examples of this. They got in on a good pitch, and because England had no other variation other than right arm fast and the leg spin of Adil Rashid, once you've hacked both, there's really nothing else to hack. You know, all it takes is a left arm bowler to come on. It's a bit of a rant here. I'm sorry. I'm not attacking the players, I'm attacking the selection. But all it needs is for something in the back of the mind of the batsman who's 70 not out. If you bring on a left armer, all of a sudden that's a different challenge. You've got to change your angle. You've got to open up a bit more. You've got to think about different scoring areas. You can't just hoik those right arm fast bowlers over mid wicket the whole time. Yeah, if the left armour comes on, you're thinking about different options. It gets the brain thinking. That's what we weren't doing enough. We weren't challenging the batsman enough, setting traps, bringing on different bowlers. You know, you can't do that with such a limited bowling lineup. You know, all it takes is to add a Sam Curran. You know, Asmat was a medium pace, skiddy bowler. That's what Sam Curran is, left armour. He would work in England, in Pakistan. Not necessarily taking wickets, not necessarily being economical, but the problem is, well, the solution is actually producing different lines of attack. It's simple as that. You know, the left arm brings a different angle and it tests the technique of the batsman. We're not testing the technique enough. We're just being too monotone, too right arm pace, and you know, what can you do? All you can pick from, poor Josh Butler, all he could pick from is five paces or Rashid. You know, it's a toss of a coin, heads or tails. That's literally all it is. You know, no Reece Topley, no Sam Curran, no Rian Ahmed, no Moeen Ali. You know, a bit of finger spin, hold up the end for 10 overs or so. It's so tricky to captain that side when you've got hardly any bowling variation to pick from. And I think the other thing is we've talked about it so much and we've asked about it for so long, which is that second frontline spinner. If you look at the teams who are playing well, India, three frontline spinners, Axar Patel, Jadeja, Kuldeep, probably bowled a combined 26, 27 overs of the India-Pakistan game. Afghanistan, they beat us, three frontline spinners. Again, probably bowled about 25 overs as a group. Nabi, Noor Ahmad, and Rashid Khan. Then you look at New Zealand as well. They've got two frontline spinners. They've got Bracewell and Santner bowling 10 overs apiece. You know, it just beggars belief that we aren't picking the second spinner. And Pakistan aren't doing well, partly because I think their second spinner, Kushdil Shah, is slightly part-time. But still, South Africa, they are somehow working away with Maharaj, but maybe that could be the problem and kind of counteracts my comment. But you look at England, and it's one frontline spinner of Adil Rashid. Yes, Livingston can bowl seven overs. He bowled all right today. Yes, Root can bowl, but that lack of frontline spinning option who you can just consistently back to bowlers 10 overs, like Abrar Ahmed did, 10 overs, one for 28. You know, these kind of bowling figures would be perfect. It just holds the batsman up. Better still if it's off spinner, you know, counteract the leg spin of Rashid, and you've got the difference from both ends, bit of variance. You know, batters have got to have different plans. Those Afghanistani batters, all they needed was a plan for the leggy of Rashid, and they needed a plan for the right arm pace. All they needed. That's I think where it ends there for the bowlers. Let's move on to the batting partnerships. So I did a bit of digging, and what England's problem was with the bat is that they weren't hammering it home. Honestly, I think that sums it up. hammering at home. Let's have a look at the Afghanistani batters today. In particular, the third, fourth, fifth wicket partnership. Now, third wicket partnership, 103. Fourth wicket partnership, 72. Fifth wicket partnership, 111. That's three back-to-back 70-plus partnership scores. They hammered it home. They were on top of the game after that third wicket partnership. After that fourth wicket partnership, they're in a good position. But that fifth wicket partnership of 111 hammered it home for Afghanistan. Australia, they had a second, fourth, and fifth wicket partnerships of 95, 146, and 74. Okay. Even after Carey got out after the 146 wicket partnership, 74 runs to win, Maxwell hammers it home. They're combining back-to-back partnerships in a row in these tight games to really hammer home that advantage. Now, when you look at the England innings, England in both those games didn't string two partnerships together more than 35. Okay? In the Australian game, yes, Root and Duckett batted for 158 partnership. But the partnerships either side of that were 13, 30, and 18. They're not stringing these consistent partnerships together. There's too many quick two-wicket falls. Okay. And I'm going to say it again, but we're not hammering home the advantage. Same again for Afghanistan. We didn't get two partnerships together next to each other of 35 plus. In this Afghanistan innings, we didn't make a partnership above 80. And it's just that kind of, I'll say it again, stringing together of partnerships. We're not getting in that position and really stamping down the authority on the game as a batting side. That's the issue. It's not that we're collapsing though. I mean, there's been a couple of performers, hasn't there? Phil Salt hasn't performed. Jamie Smith hasn't performed. Joss Butler hasn't performed. Harry Brook hasn't performed. Liam Livingstone hasn't performed. It's challenging to come out here and put these batters on the spot. But yes, we've had great knocks from Joe Root, great knocks from Ben Duckett. But if you look in all the other games where people have done well, it's been a supporting role that's got them across the line. And there was no supporting role out there today, and we couldn't hammer it home. But it's multiple supporting roles as well. It's not just one person sticking by them, which we had in Australia. You need a third person, you need a fourth person. Afghanistan strung those partnerships together because all three middle order batsmen got 40, 40, 40. Simple as that. It's been that area in the middle order in the Champions Trophy, 4, 5, 6, and 7, where those 50-50 moments in a game have been decided. Inglis, Carey, Maxwell. That was Australia versus England. That Omazai and the Afghanistani middle orders, which I can't remember their name in the middle, they hammered it home. Latham versus Pakistan. He came in at a tricky time with 30 overs to go. He knocked 100 in the middle order. Markram and Van der Dusen for South Africa against Afghanistan both shared quick fire 50s at a key 50-50 moment in the game, if you pardon the pun. So those key England middle order players, they didn't get going and it cost us. But it's the whole team. It's those not linking the partnerships together. Reason number 3. So we've done variance in bowling. We've done middle order batting. We've done those partnerships. Now, lack of all-rounder is my third reason. There's one more reason to come after this. So bear with me for this rant. But England are calling out for a Ben Stokes replacement. Calling out for a Moeen Ali replacement. Someone who can bat anywhere in the order, win England the game, bat through the whole innings, and then bowl 10 overs with the ball. But England don't have that. Well, you might think that, but there's a glaring out person that suits the spinner that we need for Pakistan. It's Rian Ahmed. And before we look at his bowling, I've heard people who've played with Rian Ahmed to be more impressed with his batting as they are with their bowling. And it beggars belief again that we think that this guy wouldn't fit into this team. Pakistan conditions like spinners. Dubai conditions like spinners. Okay. England are lacking Ben Stokes. They're lacking Moeen Ali. These guys are all-rounders. Rian Ahmed is a all-rounder who bowls spin. That would be absolutely brilliant. Okay, yes, he's not the most consistent bowler, but that could have helped us. A bit of variation. Even the odd drag down could probably get us a wicket or something. Rian Ahmed would just provide something different. He's not that same loopy Adil Rashid. He's a bit more direct, a bit flatter, and he'd just provide us with that different opportunity, different person to go to. And I'm going to shout out my one of my biggest fans, actually, one of my favourite fans. Not that I should have favourites, but Farah's was very, very keen for Rian Ahmed to come in or Sam Curran to come in. Big thanks to Farah's. Go and check out his Tall Leggy podcast, by the way. Great little show. But Sam Curran would easily bat in that top seven. Absolutely easily. Rian Ahmed would bat in that top seven easily as well. And these guys will both bowl 10 overs, as Farah said to me in the DMs. All right. And they provide the variation. Okay. The slower, skiddy left arm of Curran and the leg spin of Rian Ahmed would be great options. Come in for a Liam Livingston. Come in for someone else who isn't quite pulling their weight, and he'll bat in the top seven and he'll bowl 10 overs. Simple as that. These guys are the options that we should have gone for earlier. We should have been picking them in the India series. Now, the final reason, not playing 50 over cricket in England. It's a second team tournament, all right? We can complain as much as we want about England in 50 over competitions not performing well the last couple of occasions. But then we look at our domestic stuff and you think, actually, what are we doing with 50 over cricket? We're not playing 50 over cricket. And most importantly for me, anyone we would want to pick to improve our team is not playing 50 over cricket either. We're not cherry picking from a 50 over comp in England where players are playing well. We're picking from the T20 format and saying, come on, lads, come and play in the 50 over stuff. You'll be good. Look, we can't pick Sam Curran, Rian Ahmed, Liam Dawson, Reece Topley, Will Jacks. All these guys we're picking from T20 tournaments. And to top it all off, our next game for 50 overs, the date is 26th of February, after the last Champions Trophy game, which is a few days' time. Our next game will be in September. So that's just showing you how much England love 50 over cricket. Lack of it in the domestic game, and we're not playing enough. Simple as that. Now, predictions looking forward to end off the show. Pakistan, Bangladesh. Now, Pakistan are notoriously poor in those dead rubbers. They just they tend to give up, don't they? If a game's not on the line, they just won't go for it. However, I see something different happening. I see Pakistan pushing for a victory on home soil in the Champions Trophy. I see it happening, and I think they're not going to go down without a fight in their home conditions. So I hope Pakistan don't bat slowly. They give the crowd what they want to see. Babar Azam, big knock, inbound, and they're going to win by 5 wickets. 80-run win over Bangladesh. As much as I'd like to see Bangladesh get a valuable win at the end. But Pakistan, the home nation, they can't go to the tournament without winning, and they can't lose to Bangladesh. India versus New Zealand. This is a bit of a weird one. They're having a 7-day rest, India. They're playing on Sunday and Sunday, where every other team are playing every 3 or 4 days. And New Zealand are having to wait extra to come and play India in their home conditions of Dubai. I know Dubai is not in India, but it's the joke, all right? It's the joke. But it's going to be a tight game. And I believe whoever loses out of India and New Zealand will win the tournament. Whoever loses will win. That's my prediction. And I can't see India losing in Dubai at the minute. They're just too good in these conditions. So I see runs for Rohit, and I see India chasing again and winning by 4 wickets. But it will be the same fixture in the final, and New Zealand are going to beat India in the final. India win by 4 wickets. Australia versus Afghanistan. Now, my Australia predictions are not always top tier. However, I see them losing. Australia are going to lose. Afghanistan will want revenge from Maxwell's monstrous double ton a couple of years ago. And I think it's going to be a day out for the Afghanistani spinners. I think if Afghanistan can beat us, they can beat the Aussies. That's my thought, that's my hope. And I'm sure I've let my heart get in the way of my brain for my predictions. And I think Afghanistan are probably going to get rolled. Anyway, Australia are going to lose. And it's going to be an Afghanistan 80-run win or 3-wicket win. It just depends on the batters. Because I do believe if Afghanistan get a good total, they'll defend it. But it all depends on the batters. And finally, England versus South Africa. Another tough game for England. And lucky it doesn't matter really, because I couldn't see us winning this anyway. But South Africa are way too good a side, and even if potentially Clarkson comes back in, South Africa are going to dominate England. And I think it's going to be just like the India ODI series. England lose 3-0 against India, and I do think England will lose all three games in the Champions Trophy. I see South Africa winning by 100 runs or 5 wickets. So, not much more to say on England. It's been a tough day. I'm sweating and I'm sad, to be honest. So, follow the podcast. Make sure you've left a good review. Make sure it's 5 stars so you can be notified every time a new podcast comes out. But yeah, follow all the socials. And I hope it got answered this week of what was he?